Alright guys, it's nice to see you again. I hope you're having a great day, and today I wanted to once more talk about some new upcoming games coming our way in 2021 and beyond. I know you guys love these kind of videos, and well, good news, there have been a lot of new game reveals recently, as well as some being revived out of nowhere, from FPS games, tactical shooting games to open world RPGs. So let's just get into it right away. As always, I'd really appreciate if you could drop a like on this video to give some support, and let's go with the first game. First off, we have Morbid Metal. Thanks to the solo developer of this project right here, I could premiere the game's very first footage on my channel just recently, and a lot of people loved it due to its uniqueness and overall really fun action. At its core, Morbid Metal is a third-person, dark sci-fi action roguelite where players can shapeshift into many different unique characters that all have their own attacks, to slaughter enemies with powerful unique combos. Out of a pool of numerous unique characters, the player has the ability to form a roster of 4 characters with 3 active abilities, each with addition of standard attacks. Players can fluently switch between these characters in order to overcome diverse combat challenges by defeating a wide range of enemies and bosses, also unleashing powerful inter- and intra-character combos. Aside from the engaging combat with a unique twist to other popular fighting-driven games, Morbid Metal also emphasizes on a beautiful dark sci-fi art direction, with high-fidelity graphics that can easily compete with the AAA games of this next generation of gaming, in both the combat and of course the graphics. The atmosphere and character designs are heavily inspired by dark Japanese sci-fi art and character illustrations. This project is going to be set in a far future in which mankind as we know it has vanished, and AI is the dominant species on the planet. Thus, the player as well as the enemies are of robotic nature. However, mortality and organic life is deeply intertwined with the machines, which will make for a very interesting story. Currently, the creator is aiming for 3 environmental themes, ranging from a dark desolate wasteland to a overgrown remains of mankind, while the third one is still being worked on as we speak and kept secret. Let me know if you guys are excited for this game. Next up, we have The Day Before. Now, of course, you might have heard of this one. The Day Before is an open-world post-apocalyptic survival game which came out of nowhere and literally blew everyone away with its familiar but really good gameplay. Now, some of its gameplay seems to be a bit fake at times in the video, but this is a discussion for another day. The developer, though, have explicitly confirmed this is in-game footage, so we'll have to go with their statement until we see more. The Day Before is said to be a true open-world MMO survival set in a deadly post-pandemic America overrun by flesh-hungry infected and survivors killing each other for food, weapons, and cars. You wake up alone in a world you no longer remember, setting out to find answers and the resources to survive. You can search abandoned vehicles, houses, and skyscrapers as you scavenge for the slightest resources available in this open world. You'll be crushing the infected and other players with very realistic weapons, becoming a legend of the new world. You'll also explore beautiful yet dangerous places, each unique in their own ways, with stunningly detailed vehicles, and also take part in the restoration of the former society before it is too late. In the survivor colony, you can sell your loot and communicate safely with other players. It's some kind of hub where you're safe from the outside world. The game features a huge and detailed open world with a large city, towns, snow-capped mountains, rivers, and different forests, all said to be fully explorable. Right now, The Day Before is a PvP-focused game with AI-controlled enemies, but there will be a lot of interesting activities for PvE lovers. They can say that The Day Before will bring innovation to the long-stagnant MMO survival genre, and that they will tell us more about the gameplay very soon. They've also stated the announcement trailer was in-game footage again. However, they're still in the process of developing and improving the game. Let me know what you all think of it. Next up, we have 6 Days in Fallujah. 6 Days in Fallujah was a once cancelled game way back in 2010 that was revived out of nowhere just days ago and is coming to both next-gen consoles and PC in 2021. The game was cancelled due to being too controversial at the time, aiming to show what really happened during those 6 days in Iraq, as well as portraying what the soldiers had to go through in their everyday life. The game was and still is said right now by some people to be a political game only existing to recruit new soldiers into the US Army and for the US Army to get a better image, but but for me it is just a game. I have my opinions and thoughts, and so I won't let any game influence that. I just want to play a good military tactical FPS, and this one definitely seemed to be, and I love it. 6 Days in Fallujah is a first-person tactical military shooter that recreates true stories of Marines, soldiers, and Iraqi civilians who fought Al-Qaeda during the toughest urban battles since 1968. Lead a fire team through accurately recreated encounters from the real battle, built with technology that brings you closer to the uncertainty and tactics of real combat than any other game has explored until now. Each mission is narrated by a real person, while you experience these same moments as if you were them. Experience how modern combat is really fought through the eyes of those who were actually there. The Iraq War game, which is set during 2004's Second Battle of Fallujah, was dropped by Konami by April 2009 due to the amount of negative feedback it received. Now it is back and it doesn't plan on being cancelled a second time. Let me know what you all think. Next up, we have the 171 game, said to be an indie game made by a small indie team and extremely inspired by Grand Theft Auto, but in Brazil. The game is still in pre-alpha at the moment, but in my opinion it shows a lot of promise, and I'm extremely excited for its future, which they said will include a multiplayer and an almost identical setting to Brazil in real life. Keep in mind, Brazil is not a country known for making video games, so seeing this project being so far in development is something to behold for this country. 171 will have a huge open world city inspired by Brazilian scenarios, and every detail and element present in the game environment was designed to bring a feeling of familiarity to the player. A city with life, with pedestrians and cars walking around the map that interacts with each other. The player can find new weapons here and there by going against different gangs and can interact with the elements present in the city, but be careful lest every action can cause a reaction. Acting aggressively can attract attention, make the innocent keep their distance, and bring problems not only with the police but also with local thugs. Nico, the protagonist's nickname, is a young dreamer who lives in a small and humble community. The story says that he ends up involved with the wrong people in an attempt to help his younger brother, a former drug user. It is developed in partnership with Better Games Group. The game will be released for PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Next up, we have Black Myth Wukong. This game is looking like an absolute masterpiece, and its new trailer doesn't help slowing down the hype that we all have for this project. We have something really cool right here. While we don't have many specific details about Black Myth's story and gameplay at this time, we know it is based on the classic Chinese tale Journey to the West, one of the 4 masterpieces of classical Chinese literature. A portion of this original story focuses on Sun Wukong, also known as the Monkey King, who appears to be the main character in Black Myth Wukong. With 2 main gameplay trailers released, we have a pretty good idea at what to expect from it. Black Myth is a third-person action RPG mixing environmental exploration with skill-based Souls-like gameplay. Wukong is armed with his signature magic-imbued black iron staff weapon, and at one point we catch a glimpse of it growing in length and sweeping an entire enemy off their feet in one fell swoop. Wukong appears to use new abilities, including transforming into a skull-filled boulder that can deflect attacks, parrying large group of enemies, freezing enemies in place before striking them, and transforming into 3 flying creatures that can rain down lightning from above. There's gonna be many different unique bosses to fight, as well as unique enemies that will give a good fight to. Let me know what you all think of this game. Next up, we have Militsioner, a really weird but really interesting Russian police escape project where you have to find a way out of the open world while a giant police is watching your every move. The game also features a voice system where you can use your real-life voice to talk to the police, to either just have conversations with him, lie to him, confront him, and much more. Militsioner is said to be a first-person, surreal, immersive runaway simulator. In this open world, you will have to use your voice to speak to the giant policeman and other characters in the world, and plan your grand escape before you are sentenced to jail for the bad things you'll be caught doing. You're arrested on this ordinary day in this provincial town where the giant policeman lives and works. You haven't broken the law, have you? Of course, someone must have been telling lies, but absolutely everyone thinks you're guilty. Don't stick around for too long because this world is not meant for you to be here, and things will be getting worse and worse over time for your character. The game features immersive and unique gameplay that depends on the Militsioner's mood from the player. Of course, as you can see, this game also features a giant AI character with emotions and a distinct moral compass, so you have to be very careful careful of your every word that you say. One bad word and the police might get mad or push you around. The game features multiple escape routes, which are absolutely all open for experimentation, along with a living sandbox filled with cars, trams, and trains. Let me know what you think. Next up, we have Paradise Lost. What would happen if the Germans had won World War II? Well, this game tells a story about this very question and the dark future that would have been ahead. Here's the game's description. The war persisted for 20 more years, only to end in flames when the Nazis launched nuclear missiles on most of Europe. In the aftermath, the heart of Europe remained shrouded in mystery of complete destruction and deadly radiation, inaccessible to the rest of the world. You play as Swissman, a 12-year-old boy who's just discovered a massive Nazi bunker while wandering the barren, nuclear wasteland of Poland after his mother's death. He's searching for an unknown man from a photograph his mother cherished. Who is he? Will you be able to find him? Descend into the retro-futuristic bunker where advanced industrial technology is intertwined with mysterious Slavic pagan imagery and explore the underground city hidden within. Uncover the story of the bunker from its takeover by Polish rebels to the ultimate fate of its inhabitants. What happened to them? This is the last story on Earth, and you are one of the last people to tell it. Paradise Lost is a really unique take on a World War II setting, which tells a very different story. Next up, we have Robin Hood, builders of Sherwood. Robin Hood is an action-adventure game combining RPG and city-building elements, where we will play the role of a classic hero to fight to defend the oppressed by tyranny. The game is in a third-person perspective. As the king of thieves, we will steal, rob, fight, ride a horse, shoot a bow, help the poor, and also develop a forest village and its community. In the game, we will have an open world that we can freely explore. Our main task in the game will be to build the largest possible community of outlawed rebels. We will also look for recruits among peasants in the surrounding farms and villages, as well as among the residents and guards of the city of Nottingham to keep our allies in good health. We will also have to care of many aspects of the residents' life. An important part of our work will be attacking the people of the Sheriff of Nottingham and the wealthy merchants who make money by working with the despotic and usurper ruler. The ultimate goal of the game will be to gather the community large enough to bring down the main ruler of this place. Next up, we have Ill. Ill is looking like a truly unique take on the FPS genre, bringing terrifying horror elements with super realistic body movements, gore, and immersive visuals. One thing to note is that the gameplay you're seeing here is concept gameplay, so this is not 100% true gameplay, but something close to what they would want to achieve. Ill is said to feature immersive visuals and extremely thrilling designs, as well as advanced physics, interactive environments, active ragdoll, dismemberment, and real-time body transformations. All of these would make Ill stand out as an FPS cinematic game. The main creator of Ill, called Oleg, is known for creating short FPS cinematic movies that are all really weird, and so he wanted to do the same but with a game and with his team of 4. Instead of an overcomplicated plot, psycho trips, and ghosts, they will also give Ill an easy to understand story and shocking discoveries. Let me know if you're excited for it. Next up, we have Project DT. It is the Chinese studio's first AAA title, and it's being made in Unreal Engine 4. A few minutes into the gameplay demonstration, you'll see the beginnings of a combo scoring system, which is looking really great. So far, the game is aiming to have many boss fights just like this one, with awesome animations and levels that are simple, but also all feel different. The developers are Digiski, who are based in Chengdu and have a history of working on mobile anime games for Bandai Namco. The developers are using this game reveal to recruit more developers, just like Blasphemic Wukong developers are. The game is more similar to Bayonetta in that the protagonist does not use guns and swords like Devil May Cry characters. It is said that this main character is using some sort of boxing armor, and the fighting style is based off Kung Fu and boxing. I really like how this one looks. Next up, we have The Last Night. The Last Night was announced way back in 2017 during E3, and since then had almost completely disappeared. Just recently though, the creator and its developers just confirmed it is still in heavy development, and the game is looking better than ever, and that the trailer and gameplay we're seeing here is not even showing true gameplay, as the game evolved into a much better state. I'm absolutely loving the art style of this game though. The Last Night immerses you in the everyday life of Charlie, a second-class citizen living in a city brimming with augmentation and citizens living a gamified existence, none of which Charlie can experience himself due to a childhood accident. present. Apathetic and disheartened by the seemingly pointless world around him, Charlie is presented with an opportunity to take matters into his own hands. But at what risk? You'll be able to explore a breathtaking post-cyberpunk world, roam freely across 4 varied and vibrant districts in a unique blend of 2D and 3D. Travel between areas with futuristic transportation and win your way through dense crowds, drones, and unique characters, as long as you have the right to be there. Each decision you make with other NPCs will influence the story, and they'll also remember you if they see you again in the world. Each encounter in The Last Night is handcrafted to ensure variety and narrative progression. Use your required knowledge of the city to hide from drones, skirt around police, and escape dangerous situations or people. Finally, we have Project Eve. According to the press release, it seems Project Eve is in development for the PS5 and Xbox Series X as well as PC, and will have true next-gen graphics and animations. Along with the new screenshots, ShiftUp also released a boss battle video that includes real-time battle graphics. It shows a type of Ghost of Tsushima-esque strategic fighting style with a dash of Devil May Cry's hack and slash. This, alongside its next-gen graphics, make the title potentially worth keeping an eye on. The studio founder described this project as a console-based multi-platform action game aiming for high-quality graphic and extreme action. So far, what has been revealed is that the main character is a woman named Eve, who is battling natives, which are evil monsters that plague the post-apocalyptic city in which she lives, and she will have to fight them back in different monster boss fights and through a lot of different enemies in the world. Alright guys, that is all for today's video. If you liked any of the games that you saw in this video, don't forget to drop a like, as it truly helps the channel. And of course, make sure to subscribe to stay tuned for more videos like these. My channel is centered on upcoming games and will always be. Thanks to Space Beer Gaming, Rush Shingbati, I Am Legend, Diamond Hunter 45, Themistocles, Rickno23, and Kianzo Fagari for being a master member on the channel. You can become a survivor member for as low as 99 cents a month. It'll help me and the channel as a whole to make more and better videos.